When you're born to a billionaire, you might think, why do I need to work? But today's guest on our show is an exceptional woman for whom work is worship and money is just a byproduct. A fitness enthusiast and a girl full of life, Alisha Moopen has donned many hats as an entrepreneur. The toughest, according to her, working for her father's company, Aster DM Healthcare, the daughter of a billionaire dad, Dr. Azad Moopen. To the outside world, Alisha's life might seem like an easy ride, but she was never handed anything on a platter, not even the role of an executive director in her own company. She believes she was lucky to be born in a good family with great opportunities, but never takes anything for granted. For her, the organization is bigger than any of its employees, including herself. I caught up with her to know more about her journey. What are the things you remember of your father's journey? Because he's had such an amazing journey after he's come here.
All I've always noticed is that work is worship. He's been so into what he does. I mean, there's such a huge love for humanity within him. That's always kind of instilled and been in the back of the head, because we used to live in the same building or else the next building to the clinic. So we always just felt as part of the clinic, to be honest.
Yeah. So as a child, when you were studying, did you know that this is what you would do in the future? Were you also passionate about what your father was?
I didn't know what I was going to do. I did think as kids, we were all especially as Indian kids, I think we were all primed to do either medicine or engineering.
Right.
But actually my mom was not very keen on me doing medicine. She's like, you'll be studying forever. When will you ever finish? And because I was the eldest, I think she just wanted me to finish all that very quickly. So since I was fairly good at maths and I was not very sure, I ended up going in for a liberal arts program and then chose business and then did accounting and finance. Yeah.
And so there was no compulsion from your family to join the family business?
No, not at all. No. Dad always said, you've got to follow your heart and see what makes sense for you. He was very keen that I work outside, actually, and I work in a big MNC so that I understand the discipline and the corporate environment. So he said, you always have an option to come home if you want to and if it's interesting for you, but it's most important you go out and kind of prove yourself and learn what the world outside has to offer. So then I was in England for around 7 years.
Okay.
I was working with Ernst Young.
Okay.
I did my chartered accountancy, so with them.
And then when you decided to come back here and join the business, how was the reaction and how did you feel about it?
I think it was mostly just to shadow Dad. I think I wasn't sure about being in healthcare itself because it wasn't a sector that I was working closely with, but I did know that he was somebody I admire greatly. So I wanted to come back and there's so much to learn. So I wanted to shadow him for a year or two and see how it goes. So when I came back, I mean, he was interested, but he gave me like a very niche, narrow role, said, see how you like it, and then we'll take it from there. But it's been just wonderful.
Were you given the freedom to take your own decisions and really direct the organization, especially your part of the job, the way you wanted?
I think you earn that respect and you earn that freedom with time. So in the beginning, my hands were tied. I was literally just a spectator for most of the time. And I think it has to be like that because you are learning, and especially when you're doing something in healthcare, there are so many things that you have to take into account and sensitivities, and you know, it's the lives of people that you're talking about. So I think I did take my own time and my learning curve to just make sure that I'm confident, comfortable, and people around me believed in the ideas that even I wanted to implement. So if I felt like something would work, I needed to make sure everyone else was on board for the idea. So it wasn't just like my idea, let's roll it out.
So it's interesting you say that because you know, you had to prove yourself actually to be where you are. Although, you know, you joined an organization which was pretty much started by the by your family?
Yeah. No, see, there are huge benefits. So Dad always said you have a platform and as a springboard, and you can use it to begin. But where that will take you depends entirely on your capabilities and how you're able to establish yourself. So I'm lucky I had the opportunity, and I'm very privileged. I'm very thankful to God for that. But I've been very blessed that the people around me and what we've been able to accomplish together has been great so far. So I have been able to grow within the organization and, be very more prominent and take a more, bigger and bigger responsibilities within the organization.
Obviously, as you said, you're a fitness enthusiast and you are in the industry that is all wellness associated. So what are the lifestyle changes you've made in the last couple of years that you think have made a huge difference in your life?
Actually, I have to tell you something fun that we did in the office. So, as I said, I try to make sure that I work out 4 to 5 times at least in a week without doubt. So no matter how busy life gets, work gets, I try to squeeze that in regardless. At work, I was just talking to people, and there are people who don't work out enough and who are not active. And us being in healthcare, I was like, it's really important that we set examples ourselves, because we have to take care of people within our system who are delivering our mission and make sure that they're looked after. So at least in the corporate office a few months ago, we started this thing where in the morning at 8:30, we play music and everyone dances for like 10 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah, not everybody dances, but they're supposed to. So in the beginning, people just kept hearing, and we used to play like Saat Samundar and all sorts of old school songs. But I think...
What a great idea.
Yeah, but over time, like again, it was, there are other consulting firms and others who do it, but it's great. You get excited in the morning being at work, you hear some good music, you get your heart pumping, so it's so many benefits, and it's a bit of fun.
Yes, absolutely.
So work can't be all
it's
just
health and being positive and happy before you start. How do you balance? You have 2 kids and you are in an industry that's growing so fast, and so obviously your work is very demanding. So how do you manage to balance everything so far?
Given my abilities and given my time constraints, because we all know time is finite. So you have to make those tough decisions. There are times when I've had board meetings that I couldn't go for my daughter's first day at school. But there are other times when I go to school events and I can't be at some of the work things that I need to be. And those are tough decisions because you feel guilty regardless. But you make them, and you have to do what makes sense for you and what you can deal with your guilt levels.
You are so young and you're balancing your work and your family and everything that comes with it. What are the things that you would really like to tell young women who are just starting off or who are on the journey of balancing everything?
I think the first thing I would say is build your support network. I'm very lucky. I have my parents and my sisters here, and it helps so much to just have that benefit of people who can help you, support you, and whether it's friends, you have to build whatever makes sense for you and your network. But most importantly, I think you have to be kind to yourself. I think we're so harsh as women on ourselves, saying that let me do this, and if it doesn't happen, we put ourselves through so much guilt. And I think it's not fair. It's good to kind of build high expectations for ourselves because that pushes us, but we also have to know that there are only so much we can do. So we will take over the world and we'll do all that, but let's at least give us that room to breathe.
I know, love yourself.
Yeah.
Last but not the least, where do we see you a few years down the line, personally, professionally, and every goal that you have in your mind?
See, for me, being in healthcare is making an impact in people's life. It's very fulfilling for us as a group that we are able to do something noble for society back. So if we feel that we keep making advances in that, and we want to be like a recognized healthcare player, that when people think about any sickness and anything that they want to go to for help, then Aster and DM Healthcare comes as the recall brand for them, where they feel they'll be taken care of. So that's my vision for the future, and hopefully together we'll be able to create a change in the society.
And you are creating a change, and it was so interesting to meet all the doctors because they're so highly qualified and so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And so you know that your health is in the right hands. Thank you so much for coming on the Oma Show. It was fun talking to you.
Same here. Thank you so much.